Good day, my dear friends. I hope this works. I am on the road again, as Willie Nelson intoned, and I'm at a place where I don't think they have the best. Well, it's not the strongest Wi-Fi, but I'm going to do my best because I must speak with you today. Even if I am on the road again, I cannot tell you to the number of new friends that I have been introduced to you, or to rather, via Candace. It is unbelievable. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is, I got to tell you something. Again, please, thank you for this. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how this is going to work in terms of the signal. If it's coming in live by 5 or live by 5, 5 by 5, let me know. That's all I want to say. I hope to God, dear God, I hope somehow this works. The other night, I was doing my regular speech conspiratorium, my confabulation, conviviation, my broadcast, and all of it. It was at the end. I had watched Candace's last piece. I guess she's not on tonight. I don't know. I only wish we knew ahead of time. Is it going to be on? Do we wait? In any, because I assiduously and faithfully watch every single one of her broadcasts. So apparently at the very end of episode 7, and I didn't know this because I was doing, oh, look at this. Here's Dutch Silver. Dutch, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence. At the end of this, of Candace's show, apparently she did a shout out to moi or something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, there's this one page that showed subscribers. It started looking like this, like an old gas, one of those gas pumps, in the old fashioned. I said, what is going on? I had no idea because I missed it. I was on a phone call, something happened, so I missed the shout out. I had no idea what this was about. I'm thinking, what happened? I mean, normally this is good, but I don't see this. And it was all because this brave lady was kind enough to say, I like him. I think she honored me. This broke my heart. She said something to the effect where I reminded her of either her grandfather or something, but which is the kindest thing anybody could ever say. It's the kindest encomium, panegyric that anybody could ever say to you. The kindest of the kind. I couldn't believe it. So it was traveling today. Don't get me started on that. Mrs. L and I are out, and we are now in a different climate, as you can tell by the sun that is out. We are not in New York. So in any event, thank you, thank you, thank you. Candace Owens is the most powerful person today. And I've been saying this repeatedly, the most powerful person on the internet today. Bar none. Bar none. She is without it. I can't begin to explain to people, especially those who have not really figured this thing out. And for those of you who are new to me, I welcome you and I thank you ahead of time. I thank you for this. I want to explain something which I think is so important and so critical for all of us right here. And I think one of the reasons why I think we all kind of share this thing. You and I love sincerity and honesty. It's the most, you know what? Better somebody tells you, hang on, why did I do this? Just a second. Why are you so obsessed with this crap? Oh, I love this. Oh, here we go. Well, you know what? I hit this by accident, but that's a very, very good, it's a very, very good question. And thank you. Let me see, where is this? I want to address this young person. Oh, here we go. Again, why are you people so obsessed with this crap? Thank you for that, by the way. And thank you and welcome. May I tackle that and turn to you as well for some views as to why we are so obsessed with this crap? Anybody feel like they're obsessed with it? Anybody? Go ahead. Anybody feel they're obsessed with this obsession? Obsession versus almost like a perseveration. Almost like something that's not real, like an unnatural, unfair, irrational, unhealthy, focused perpetuation, obsession. Anybody feel like that? Anybody? 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 Now understand something. I want you to understand, and I hope people as well. I'm not in the business of cutting people off and having moderators. I mean, maybe I should, because I do believe in free speech as much as possible. The only thing I ask is that we don't become vile. But how many people here think we're obsessed? And how many people, as somebody says, thinks that Candace is out of her mind? Did you see this? Candace is out of her mind. When somebody, and that's a great point, because in order for us to determine what we feel, it's better sometimes to find out what we don't feel. Here's why I don't think Candace is out of her mind. Number one, when somebody says something that is baseless, when somebody is routinized, when somebody is repetitive, when somebody goes over and over and over, that's the perseveration. Sometimes you'll see it in spectrum disorders. You'll see it in a variety of various forms of psychopathy or psychotic behavior, kind of in a delusional, this whirlwind, this arc, this repeated. She has not ever, as far as I'm concerned, said anything that's out of her mind. If she did, I think we'd be there for that. And I think that what people find for the most part is when they say she's out of her mind is that a couple of things come to mind. First of all, there's jealousy, tremendous jealousy. I'm never going to say anything about racism. I don't think that's it. If I did, I'd tell you, but I don't think that's it. Because Candace never, ever, ever even talks about race. Candace never talks about race. Race is never part of it. It might be a little bit of sexism. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. But I think people are jealous. And what Candace came along is she says, if there is some kind of a sacred cow, so to speak, some type of an untouchable way of thinking, she's the first one on it. And it comes down to simply this. And I'll tell you my particular journey, as I've said before, but we have a lot of new people. And by the way, again, welcome and thank you for being here. I never caught the Charlie Kirk thing at all. I mean, I didn't get it. I thought, oh, this is horrible. Charlie Kirk died. Terrible. Many of us, I remember the time thinking to myself, why is Charlie Kirk so popular? People that I know, people, believe it or not, that I found, I was shocked, were crushed, who watched him every day. And I said, why? Again, I didn't know this. They never told me this. And Charlie Kirk was not somebody who talked about, usual things. He was rather hardcore in his particular worldview. He was a hardcore, staunch Catholic Christian. I don't know if he was Catholic, but he talked about no premarital sex, celibacy, women working at home, supporting the family, supporting the husband, supporting the hearth, raising the kids, Bible studies, church, tithing. I thought, this guy's he's not gonna go over big with today's kids. They loved it. Why? Because he provided truth, honesty, and a conviction, and they respected the fact that somebody can be that devoted to an ideology, not to a doxy, but that's the wrong word, but to a way of thinking. So anyway, tragic, terrible. And I never saw anything. Next move. Here comes Erika Kirk. I said, who's that? Oh, that's the poor girl. That's the poor woman. That's the widow. Nails said, it's not crap. CK's life matter. Charlie Kirk's matter. The truth matters. Absolutely. And by the way, the uninvestigated and unpursued truth, I think, is a mortal sin. And thank you for that. Especially when nobody seems to be lifting a finger to go after why he was actually killed and by whom. Okay. So anyway, here comes Erika. How many of you thought the same way? Oh, okay, I didn't know who she was. I had no reason to dislike her. I didn't know anything about anything. I didn't care about. Had I known about things like her pageant work, who cares? That's not it. That wasn't it. A lot of people did this. A lot of people were pageants. We weren't thinking. We didn't care about her. Okay. I told you this, I'll say it again. Red pill moment for me. Red pill moment. Red pill. When I saw her leaning over, cradling in what appeared to be a deliberate publicity shot, crying over her husband, Charlie. I puked. Couldn't believe what I was saying. Could not believe I saw what I saw. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe what I saw. My jaw dropped. Figuratively. I couldn't believe it. I said, who can be so craven, so crass, so diabolically gauche, and this is horrid. How can you do this? Red pill number 1. Red pill number 2. 6 days later, 5-6 days later, she has a meeting, a Zoom meeting. This is the bereaved widow. This is the woman saddled, leveled by the horror. And she comes up with this, hey guys. First, I think I've told you this. I hate this, hey guys. I don't know. There's a couple of things that people say now. Hey guys, and what you guys needed, and what you guys, and you guys, crystal ball. Well, crystal balls on breaking points with Saggart, whatever it is. One time she was on an interview with Candace, and speaking about balls, she eviscerated her. Candace took this crystal ball and basically gave her an orchiectomy. But she always says, hey guys, welcome back, guys. Hey guys. I hate that. It's an affectation. It's a phrase. I'm so sick of it. I'm not your guy. Speak like an adult. You're an adult. You're in Nebraska. Do you speak English? Speak like an adult. Enough with this. Hey guys. The other one too is literally. My eyes literally bugged out of me. No, it didn't. Literally. Stop saying literally. People say literally for no particular reason. And I was literally driving down the road. Well, I have no reason not to believe you were. As opposed to what? Figuratively? Anyway. So here's going back to 6 days after the assassination. There she is. Hey guys. Hey guys. How you guys? Hey, don't be so down. Here's my magic tissue. Don't worry. Hey, let's talk about that merch sales. Merch sales are up. Hats are doing gangbusters. Gangbusters. Keep up the good work, people. By the way, that's TPUSA.com. TPUSA.com. Come on, let's fight. Coffees are for closers. It was like Glengarry Glen Ross. What are we talking about? I couldn't believe this. 6 days. 6 days. I would have had to, if my wife were, but not just died, slaughtered, shot down, cut down. And this is the way she acts. And you say, why do I obsess over this crap? I've never seen anything like it. And nobody's saying anything. Until Candace. I was a lone voice. I said, wait. I know this is not the end of the world, but does anybody notice it? Until Candace. Candace saw right through it. I notice little things. I'm saying, do you understand how this thing works? Let me give you an example. Sometimes I was a prosecutor, trial lawyer by profession, and when you're doing a case, sometimes somebody's behavior, somebody's I don't know, how do I say this? Somebody's behavior or something that they do really kind of makes you say, Remember the movie Silverado? Remember when Kevin Costner, supposedly the person that Kevin Costner played, supposedly fell off the horse? He goes, yeah, and Uncle John fell off the horse. He goes, he what? Fell off the horse. He said, he's alive. This guy was the best horseman ever. He doesn't fall off the horse. Or so-and-so he wasn't at mass. He's not at mass. He's in mass every day. Something's wrong with him. We have patterns, we have abilities, we have traits, we have certain things that we do. And you notice them. And it may seem trivial, but you notice them. Let me ask you something. When you cry and somebody hands you a tissue, why do they hand you a tissue? Why do people hand you a tissue? 2 reasons. One, your eyes. It's not really your eyes. Sometimes it might be. Sometimes you might get that Tammy Faye if you're wearing mascara. But what's the other reason? Mucus. Hate to be gross. It's not gross. When you cry, lacrimation. When you become a lachrymous. Tear ducts and nose works hand in hand. The tissue is when you blow your nose because you're crying. You cry. Somebody says you snot. Perhaps I could have said it better, but you're right. Did you ever see Erika ever blow her nose? Ever? Watch. It's performative. It's performative. You're playing the role. I don't even think in the world of theater, you can do a couple of things. People always will say, how do actors, how do they cry? How do you cry when you're an actor? Let me tell you how you do it. First of all, one thing is they blow this menthol in your face, like this heater, and you sit there and all of a sudden you will cry like a sumbitch. Our good friend says, Lionel, she gave me the creeps from day one when she was whispering, standing over behind Charlie's chair. I lost my cat the same day and I was still ugly crying. I like that. And here she was, looking fabulous. Absolutely. You see what you just did? And thank you. You remember something that you went through. Yay. Caught your exquisite commentary again. Thank you, Kay. You notice certain things. You notice little things. Little things that may not mean, but they mean a lot. Here's one for you. For those of you old enough to remember, I always got to remember this. I was talking to somebody the other day about 9/11, and I said, don't you remember 9/11? You know 9/11? He goes, I was in grade school. I said, oh, okay. I didn't know. I figure everybody's my age. Anyway, there was a time when during the O.J. Simpson case, O.J. Simpson, after he killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, he took a flight to Chicago. He was in his hotel in Chicago. Okay? He got a phone call from the LAPD. Now listen to me. They said, Mr. Simpson, yes. This is Lieutenant so-and-so. I've got bad news. Your ex-wife has been murdered. He says, oh my God. I'm coming back right away. Thank you. Gotcha. Why is that? Gotcha. Why? He had 2 ex-wives. He never asked which one. Gotcha. Little things. There was a case years ago, I told you this, of the Night Stalker. Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono, the Night Stalkers. Bianchi thought he was a genius. He thought he could mimic this multiple personality business, which doesn't really work. And somebody said, let me put him under hypnosis. Let me talk to him. And in a hypnotic state, which he was not in, he went and he grabbed something. He grabbed something and he said, gotcha. Why? He says, in a hypnotic state, you don't grab things. You don't, how do I say this? You don't grab things. You don't do that. You can't because of some rule. In a hypnotic state, you're almost like watching a movie. You don't grab things. You don't participate. You don't touch. You don't sleepwalk. You don't somnambulate. None of that. It was a gotcha. I want to say something to you, ladies. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. If I have to get to the bottom of this, and I could ask a man or a woman, I say, give me a woman. For reasons that I think we all know, your ability to cut through the nonsense is so much better than men because you have a built-in, an instinctual, I don't know what the word is. Basically, it's like a bullshit detector that nobody has. Little things. The clothing she wore, these memes. Remember what a meme is. When a meme comes out, remember what meme is. Meme is from the word mimetic. Richard Dawson not Richard Dawson. Richard Dawson was on Family Feud. Stephen Dawson. Is it Stephen Dawson? Anyway, the atheist. Richard Dawson. Anyway, survey says, he said that a meme is short, that memetics is when you pass on information much like you would a chromosomal piece. Thank you, Ulysses. Like a piece of data, you pass it on and you inherit it. That's a meme. Look at the memes. What were the memes immediately? The memes and the GIFs and all this kind of jazz. What was it? It was Erika dancing in gold lame, doing a pole dancing, being shot out of a cannon. Remember that one thing where who was it, Beyonce, where you're elevated up from below the stage in the spring, you go up and you dance and you. She was so phony, so fake, so ersatz, but women got it better than men. They saw it immediately. They didn't buy any of it. The stories didn't make any sense. The worst thing is when somebody decides to lie about something for no particular reason. They lie about something for no particular reason. Like my friend, the great Gordon Soley said, some people would rather climb up a tree and lie than stand there and tell the truth. It's the most incredible thing in the world. Little things, she says. One of them was things that just don't make any sense. So I was asked, says JR says, Erika and TPUSA have changed their stance on so much. You are great. Love watching you. Thank you, sir. Oh, TPUSA is done. Finished. They're done. Done, 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 done. And if ever there was any group of people that I would really look at very closely, I'm not making any accusations, but if anybody said, is there anybody there who might have been perhaps maybe contributory or participatory in the dispatch of Charlie, you go all this place. I'm going to TPUSA. She screwed up. She did more to destroy that than anything else. She has got to get out of the way, and she won't do it. She won't do it. I'll leave it at that. But here is his story. And ladies, you'll appreciate this. This is what her thing is. If you can believe this. Funky Monkey says, I'm pretty sure Erika and Amber Heard went to the same acting school. Amber Heard was Ethel Barrymore, rather, compared to this. She was, and thank you, by the way. Her whole thing is, I'm sexy. I'm hot. I mean, say it. Erika would say, it's okay, say it. I'm sexy. I am hot. I am wicked hot. I am so wicked hot. You lust for me. You wish you were me. Say it. You wish you were me. I'm beautiful. I'm gorgeous. I make men and people melt. I'm a great actress. I'm smart. This is the delusion. And I'm not exaggerating. And she has this idea, this understanding. Oh, shucks. Look, I was a tomboy. Look, I had short hair, for God's sakes. I had short hair. What are you talking about? I had short hair when I was a kid. I was a weird kid. I went by the name Butch. Go figure. I used to climb trees and shoot squirrels and gut pheasants for no particular reason. I never wore a dress. I was like Opie, just stop it. So she has this story. I was walking down the street and people came up and said, hey, Erika, what is it? Oh, and her mother's always there. Erika, Candace brings it up. Her mother's always there. Somebody said, hey, Erika, we've signed you up. We've signed me up for what? To be Miss Arizona. You did what? You signed me up. Sign me up. I don't want to do this. Oh, come on, Erika. I mean, Erika, please. Erika, you were so beautiful. You were so pulchritudinous. You're a sylph, a siren. Your immane beauty and your sexy magnanimity are you are siren-like. You must do this, please, for the great people in the. Okay, I didn't know anything about this. Okay, what the? Hey, Mom, what do you think? What? Okay, I'm serving my state, serving my country. All right, fine, fair enough, I'll do it. All right, if that's the way you want to do it, I'll do it. Sure. Where do I sign up? Golly gee, son of a bitch! If I didn't win, I didn't want this. Okay, then all Candace said was, she lists in her curriculum vitae all the time. She either or participated in events or what the word is, she participated in the events or just tried out for it or something since she was like a kid. So why is she lying? Nobody cares about this. Nobody cares about whether she missed everything. But she lied about it. Why are you lying? Why did you create this story that you don't know what the truth is? She's not a psychopath. She's a I don't even think she's a narcissist. She's too stupid. Psychopaths don't do this. Psychopaths are smart people. Psychopaths don't care what you think. A psychopath doesn't care whether you think they think they're pretty. Your opinion means nothing. They might want to fool it in terms of trying to get something from you, but they do not have grandiosity. I mean, they're glib. It doesn't come up with them. And people use that word, I think, psychopath, a little too much. It's almost like this ubiquitous stamp of bad guy. And it's a clinical term. She's a liar. She's just a liar and here's the best part. You ready for this? She's not smart. She's stupid. Listen to what she says. Listen to what she says. Then she did this thing where Candace, episode 7 was the greatest one Candace did. It was, you could feel her voice quivering. It was tremulous. It was quivering, quavering, so to speak. Suzanne says, it's better she not raise her children. She's an empty shell, those poor kids. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. Did you hear what he says? Well, I had to go to work because I was a single mom. I say, I think Charlie's insurance policy was $10 million in and of itself. I mean, what are you talking about? Tucker raised, I don't know, $5 million. I mean, she's a shareholder. She actually wants you. And I'm sure we have some single moms, real single moms out there right now. But she actually wants you to believe. She truly wants you to believe that she's this struggling mom who's trying to make sandwiches and, brown bagging it for the kids and picking them up in the station wagon and take them to skating practice. I mean, what is, has she ever told us the truth? She tells you things, I never dated. I never dated. I mean, I came to New York and all my friends she had this weird way of saying this, and the drinks. And they dated with the drinks. And I said, I don't want to date with the drinks and the drinks because I just want to stay home and read the Bible cover to cover. I want to go to Bible class. I want to ask my preacher. Ask your preacher. What are you talking about? I want to ask my preacher. I'm going to say, preacher, what is it? Preacher, should I do this? She lied about that. Then she says, I took my kids and I wanted them to see where daddy worked. I wanted them to see the people who took care of my kids. I'm still trying to figure that one out. You what? Candace brought this up. The people who took care of her kids, kind of like the sort of maybe sort of what would you call them? Nannies? Or she never met them? Not only that, Charlie's office, little things like this. Charlie's office wasn't where she took it. Charlie's office was someplace else. I mean, everything about, she doesn't remember what she says. She just spews this mendacity, these reels, these sprays of lying. It's the most, I've never seen anything like it. She doesn't know the truth and doesn't care. She is without the ability to do it. Unbelievable. She was involved most probably with either something involved with spooks or episodes involving, I guess, this whole, but the Fort Huachuca stuff, but also doing an industrial on EMPs with Woolsey and the CIA. How about the men? How many men has she dated? Look, I don't care about this. But when you say, I'm a Vestal virgin, little old me, I'm just little Miss Innocent. I don't know about this. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. I'm just who I am. I'm just Candace. I'm just plain old Candace. That's all I am. I'm just plain old Candace. I'm just a girl, simple girl. I'm just a simple girl. Stop it. Nobody's asking you to lie. Nobody cares. Stop lying. And the people at TPUSA are so stupid. Let me tell you something about these people. They were very, very smart. And I've told you this before. There was a talk that they were going to, of all things, they were going to be involved in some kind of either real estate or some kind of property where they may, I surmise, I'm just guessing, I'm just spitballing here, my friends, that they would be involved in either building homes or developments or cities, maybe with not necessarily churches per se, but preachers and using all of the powers of First Amendment free speech, tax exemption status. They don't pay taxes. Joel Osteen and others, preachers, religious schools. It's perfect. They were on their way. They were. This was going to be bigger than anything, with or without Charlie. By the way, it's better with Charlie, and she's going to screw things up. Doctora Latina says, I was a single mom of 2 daughters. It was grueling. Worked 2 jobs and spent every free moment with my girls. I wish I could have been even more present for them. You're right. And here's this woman, by the way, Latina. She's pretending she was you. Pretending she was you. Let me go back and ask you this. If anybody, hope it doesn't happen here, but if ever any of you find people had the death of a child, death of a husband, tragic, violent death, death of a pet, because pets in many respects are worse than sometimes worse than people. But you were paralyzed, you were stultified, you couldn't move, and she's bopping around. She's on. Remember the day she did the run on Fox News? She was on Paris Falker, this, that, Hannity, man. I mean, one or another all day long. I got me. And then with Barry Weiss at CBS, what are your words for Candace Owens? Stop. Just stop. She's like Cruella de Vil or Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction. I will not be ignored. Oh my God. When you do something on Broadway, when you do 8 shows a week, 8 matinees, evenings, Wednesdays off, whatever it is. Well, Wednesday, by the way, is matinee day. So in any event, when you do a scene and you do let's do the kitchen scene where I get the bad news that Uncle Joe died in a fertilizer accident. And what I do is I have my thing. I do it all the time because I've got to get there. I don't have time to think about Uncle. No, I put my thing up on my prop here, and I put my coffee cup here, and I look down, and I try to remember. They can't hear me, but I've learned this line, and I make it sound like my voice is quavering, but it's really not. But I do it all the time. It's a setup, it's a routine, because I can't get into the character every time. I got to have a set routine where I get into it and I get into it fast, and I've got to either pretend I'm crying or have a lump in my throat or something. It's just the same way that in the NBA, people who do free throws, they dribble it twice or go like that. They have a routine. Same thing with baseball. Before they swing, they go through a routine. She goes through a routine whenever she does her act. One of them is the Charlie act, and it's the one every single time. The voice is so phony, so flat, so fake, so synthetic. It's an insult to anybody's intelligence. Absolutely, an insult. Insult, like nothing you've ever seen. An insult. It's brutal. And she does this without any type of, how do I say this? Without any kind of inflection, any hesitation, she just doesn't care. She just doesn't care. And she doesn't think that you notice. She thinks you don't notice this. And this goes on and on and on. And by the way, let me explain something. You could talk about the Romanian, the orphanage. You know about that? That's something, that's terrible, that's awful. The lying about the husbands, the lying about this. But her unnecessary lies are the thing which absolutely drives me nuts. These unnecessary lies. Why is she doing this? She doesn't have to lie. No one cares. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Nobody cares about this. Now, there are 4 considerations here for us to think about, or for you to think about. Number 1 is the actual Charlie murder itself. Facts of the case, impossibilities, problems you have, issues you have, a lot of things, a lot of aspects of that. I, as a again, former prosecutor, criminal trial lawyer, defense, I see a lot of problems with that case as well. But that's that. The second issue is who did it? How many of you people believe in the story that Tyler Robinson was the sole participant, the sole, that there was no conspiracy, it was just him by himself, and that nobody helped him? He did it only because he did not like, all of a sudden, he did not like what was being said regarding trans people. He picked up went and got a 30-06 granddaddy shooting iron and decided to take out Charlie because of what Charlie said. And Charlie, if anybody, was a gentleman. If anybody handled it so methodically, so beautifully, so perfectly, so kindly, it was Charlie. It was Charlie. If anybody did it, it was Charlie. And he decided he wants you to believe that one day he said, that's enough. And he drove an inordinate amount of time to get there, an inordinate amount of time. And the story is he used his grandfather's rifle. And by the way, what I would do is I would have experts, snipers, say how difficult it is to make that shot. But not only that, to maintain your cool, to not become scared, to not become nervous, to not freeze. Keep in mind, you're not plinking cans. You're talking about a human being. That's that. The first one was the trial. The second one is, was he the only one? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you think Tyler Robinson acted alone, you're out of your mind. And Tyler, make sure you get away from any type of exclusive, kind of out of the way, kind of parochial type of correctional center, because that's where bad things happen to you. Because Tyler, if you go away, everything is better. If you go away, everything is better. If you go away, if they wake up one morning and you're dispatched, if you're gone, if you're not here anymore, it's done. It's the biggest relief you can imagine. And it's very easy to make you go away. In the prison system, there always has been this thing referred to, since the black art of poisoning, is called noose on a bun. And this is where you give somebody something over a period of time that has a particular chemical in it. This evinces, by the way, a much higher level of participation from other people. Kitty Whiskers says, reminder, there were Google searches for Tyler and the hospital, etc. before dispatch day. Indeed. Excellent point. Thank you. Excellent point. When you give somebody something on 4 or 5 days, 6 days, and all of a sudden you give them something else, that second agent acts with the first, kind of like a binary compound, and lo and behold, boom, you have this reaction. And when they do a toxicology report, the only thing that breaks down are substances, chemicals that are found in, iodine, high chlorine, nothing extraordinary. No other toxin that extravasated and perfused the body to kill. No, not at all. It's been done a million times. A million times. And by the way, what he should do is he should be some kind of a federal, the Fed should have some kind of a joint participation in some federal systems, some federal prisons. They will have the inmates wear all paper. The diet is so monitored you can't even believe it. But they have cameras and devices that can determine massive and very quick sudden drops in temperature, meaning some type of in extremis that these people might be in. You want to have that. You might want to have an Air Force base or a hospital where Tyler is kept, not even as a prison per se, but something where he can be watched. Because I'm telling you, listen to what I'm saying. If he goes bye-bye, the case is over, and you just relieved ever getting to the bottom of any of it. So that's that. So we got the case itself. Number 2, we have the issue of how many people are involved. Number 3, what's the motivation? This is probably the least important. This is probably the least important. In criminal law, we don't care about motivation. I mean, you could bring it up. It might help, but we don't care about it because of the fact that why you did something is really unimportant. All we have to prove as a prosecutor is you intended to do something, not why you did it. That's why hate crimes make no sense. Hate crimes sound great until you realize what they are. They take a crime which is already cognizable, meaning it's already actionable, like batteries, assault, whatever it was, arson, and you take it and you exaggerate it, you raised its level of sentencing and the like because of something that was said, something that was thought, something that was believed, something that was uttered. You took something which is already against the law and you aggravated it by somebody uttering or thinking something which was legal. You could hate anybody else you want in this country. You could hate gay people or Islamic people, whatever you want, as long as you don't hurt them. So what a hate crime does is it takes something which is already a law. Let's say you burn a cross on somebody's lawn. That's either burglary, believe it or not, arson, a variety of other things. But it makes it a hate crime, and it tries to invoke federal jurisdiction. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. I don't care why you did it. So what? I don't care what. By the way, what if somebody was a bad hate crime person? What if I went to a synagogue and I spray painted on the walls a Mogen David, a Star of David, on a what? On a synagogue? No, you're supposed to put it. No, you're supposed to put a swastika. That's the hate thing. Well, I wasn't very good. What if I wanted to? What if I burned a Christmas tree on the lawn of a black family? A Christmas tree. And somebody says, "What does that mean?" I say, "I don't know. I just am not very good at burning a cross. I don't have the wood, but Christmas trees, I got a lot of them." And nobody understands you see what I'm saying? Now we're getting into the motivation, what you said, what you thought. Who cares? So I don't really care. Candace is saying this. Candace is saying that right before his dispatch, his liquidation, he was saying some things about Israel, about the Middle East, about the government, about Trump, about a variety of folks. Candace posits, she believes that it was at that time when all hell broke loose, when Charlie was getting hinky, when he said he wanted to maybe do a Doge type of investigation or some type of an audit, and that he was very seriously thinking about removing or withdrawing from any support of Trump or the government because of their affiliation with Israel. Candace believes that the whole Middle East thing is just a rubber stamp, that we're acting as proxies for Israel, and Charlie believes so as well. Reality check. Number one, they're saying that all over the world. It's not novel. If they're suggesting that Charlie was taken out because of that, he's repeating what everybody else is saying. It's not even novel. A lot of people say that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't know. So motive is a weird thing. And the fourth part about it is just Erika. Erika is the heel in professional wrestling. She's the bad guy. If you ever saw years ago, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, those great movies, Alexis Carrington, and all these women that were just horrible. They were shrews and harridans, myrtresses. They were horrible. Just these termagants, that's Erika. Erika is so much fun. Seriously, don't you find out now that they're going back and just listening to things she said then, and you realize it's fun. Now, is it the end of the world? Of course not. Of course not. But what it is it's something even more important than that. It's the idea for us to kind of a crowdsourced truth. Why I love Candace Owens and what she's doing is that she starts on one premise. She has the only one who has the courage to do this. When they go after her, she comes back at them with a fury and a ferocity nobody could even imagine. It is like nothing anybody has seen. And the $1 billion, DuPont offered CK to pull out of the Greenland rare earth metals deal. Yep. That's good too. But remember, we'll find a lot of these things. And by the way, Ian, and I appreciate this, but the question is you have to ask yourself, is it enough to warrant his dispatch? Why cause attention to this? Or the fact that something goes wrong, let's say somebody's caught in the middle of it. But is he really that important? Everybody's saying this. I mean, there are ways to pay him back. Why that? Why, especially after Epstein? Why? But remember one thing: they lie to you. They lie to you. They lie to your face. They lie all the time. They want to take your place. Backstabbers. They lie. They hate you. They hate everything about you. Everything. They have such contempt for you. They think you're so stupid. They think you're going to believe this. That's absolutely ain't going to happen. So let me just also tell you, first of all, but to Candace, thank her for bringing you over. I'm so grateful to have such great people, great Americans, great thinkers, great folks, not only here, but all over the world, who recognize mendacity and also have the courage, like Candace, to say, you're wrong, lady Erika. You're wrong. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. If for no other reason, in Charlie's name. And by the way, TPUSA, you aid and abet this. You are accomplices to all of this. And you're going to look so bad. Your name is going to be tantamount to the Shinola Company. Nobody's going to want to have anything to do with you, especially when prosecutions come about and a lot of other stuff as well. So it's going to be something. My friends, I told you, I thank you for this. You were so unbelievably kind for you to join us. Candace, if you're listening, thank you for this. Thank you for introducing me to these great friends. By the way, any questions you have, any thoughts, observations before we back it up? I always like to see what you think. Because if you were on my trial team, what would you notice? And by the way, if somebody said, is this a bunch of crap? Do you think this is a bunch of crap? Do you think that this is totally baseless? I say absolutely not. 100%, absolutely not. So my friends, I thank you. To those of you who were so kind to donate or to super chat and the like, thank you for that. Like I said, tomorrow, I have been, oh, and by the way, I have been awake for, I don't, look at this, we've got a brand new member here. Thank you. I don't know. I'm trying to think how long. I was on from 1 to 5 a.m. overnights. That day was up pretty much so. And then left, caught a plane with my wife, been traveling. We're here on the West Coast. And I don't even know. I'm out of it. So if I might leave a little bit earlier because I might say something that's totally and completely desultory. This is, by the way, this is one of the things that our good friend Kamala Harris, or Kamala as I call her, she has a thing called logorrhea or logolalia. They called it verbal incontinence. She just talks nonsense. And logorrhea is like diarrhea, but with words. It just spews. These are true terms. And by the way, indices of schizophrenia. I don't want to get to that point. I do not want to get to that point. Let me just say before I forget. If you've ever I hate airplanes. I hate airlines. We flew out of JFK, and let me tell you something. It was just people walking around in their pajamas. By the way, thanks to Florida, by the way, who said, or Tampa Airport said you cannot wear pajamas and the like, and I think this is terrific. I love your words and description of everything. I knew from the first week when Erika Kirk stood on that pulpit with fake tears, I felt something was wrong. That is absolutely correct. You know something was wrong, and you realize it was wrong, Michael, because you've been around. And you know what lying and mendacity is. Or you know that. It's just incredible. So anyway, dear friends, I love yous. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you for your incredible words. Thank you. And by the way, thank you so much for following my beloved wife at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. This week, she has been consoling families who lost loved ones through the absolute, you want to talk about the dark forces, the psychopathy of Silicon Valley and big tech, because there was a bill called COSA, and they basically are out to gut anything that would make it at all. It's almost illusory. But she's been on the phone, again, protecting children against human trafficking, human rights violations, and digital predation. So please follow her at Lynn's Warriors. It means a lot. I would appreciate it much. Love her as well, because what she's doing is without peer. And I thank you, my friends. Thank you so much. And Candace, if you're listening, Thank you for directing your beautiful and great, brilliant audience towards me. It is an honor. There's a bunch of us out there that do the best we can. And a lot of people, they basically believe well, put it this way, they respond to everything that Candace has said. I think that's fine. I don't. My analysis is a little different. It's observational. It's perhaps it's more. I think it's almost psychological. It's almost like a debriefing, like a like a uh, uh, like a psychological post-mortem. Because I think what makes people interesting are the characteristics of the people that we're talking about. And there was no. I do not. Hillary Clinton doesn't lie that much. Nobody lies like Erika Kirk. Nobody. Think about it. Nobody. Nobody lies like Erika Kirk. So anyway, thank you. Please do me a favor. Please like the video. Make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos, because while I'm away, I just may jump on and do a live one right away, or others as well. I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for celebrating the truth. Thank you for being so steadfast and so focused on exposing non-truth. It says a lot about you, and it says a lot about us, because it's one thing that we hate is a liar. Now, you can exaggerate. You can get things wrong. You might be kind of full of it, but that doesn't mean that's not the same as somebody who looks you in the eye and lies. We're going to get to the bottom of that. My friends, thank you so much. Hug your kids. Love them. It's a brutal and terrible world out there. And make sure you love your spouse and your friends as well, as I embrace you, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And until we meet again, remember these final words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.